Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. We are having a conjugal visit with the Connors today.
Okay.
The Briscos that came through to hang
What's
out
up?
with me and Joe Connor. Okay.
Yes.
So we are here. We are being graciously met with Sharon and Eric Brisco. So you guys tell us a little bit about yourself so they can get to know you.
Yes, I'm Sharon, and well, actually, we've been married for about a year and a half and been together for about 9 years at this point.
Almost 9 years. Actually, it's like 8, kind of, because Friday will be my 9th year here.
And I met you.
And
okay, anyways,
yeah, but something like that.
Almost. So
we've been together.
Nine. It feel like 19.
Practical. But yeah. So my name is Sharon. So I'm a singer, and we live in LA. And he's an actor. And what else?
Yeah, actor. I do property management on the side. Yeah, do my thing. Holler at me if you want a 2-bedroom. But no, I actually have a really cool organization called Black Man Now. It's a support group for all men of color. We break barriers in conversations that men don't typically have, such as toxic masculinity, mental health, pain, trauma, anger. It's been something we've been doing for about 3 years now, and super passionate about it. I think that men's mental health is probably one of the most important things, I think, in today's existence, just because a lot of men lead the world. We're the head. We're leaders and fathers and workers and just beings. And so Black Men Now just kind of covers that. We meet once a month. We have a Vulnerable Man podcast that we do every Saturday at 11. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so Black Man Now is amazing. I've been to it. If you are a Black man, go check it out. If you are somebody who knows a Black man or who is close to a Black man, instruct him to go check it out. Tell the people where they can follow and kind of subscribe.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. We had a Facebook page. I really just wanted to focus on IG, my IG following a lot. So if you go to IG, follow us at black.man.now. Like I said, we have the Vulnerable Man podcast that goes up every Saturday. We're getting ready to gear up for season 2. It's going to be a whole different look and feel. We might be putting it on YouTube, so you guys stay tuned for that. Yeah. And also Juneteenth, we're gearing up. We're doing our When Kings Meet 2. So super excited about that. And if you are a man of color, please come out. We're doing a healing circle Juneteenth weekend 2021. So yeah. We love y'all. We cool with y'all.
Yeah, the Connors are our family for real, y'all.
We love y'all.
What they left out is they are 2 of our most favorite people.
That's a fact.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, the Connors and Briscoes. You know what I mean?
Let me say something. Still sharp and still, y'all.
You know what I mean?
Get your
real life.
Who love y'all.
100%.
Real life.
They said that it takes a village to raise a child, but they didn't say that it takes a village to raise a marriage.
How about that?
And so Eric and Sharon are a part of our village, and so they are joining us today, and you guys are in for a treat.
Yes. So another thing, a big thing that we're celebrating today is Joe's birthday.
Yeah.
He's another year very much older.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
He's very old. I do want to say a toast really quick. Okay. Y'all know I'm not really sentimental or anything like that because
Yes, you are.
However, I am so blessed to be in this space with you, to share this platform with you, to share my life with you. I love you so deeply.
Speak the word.
I will go to jail and back for your mother.
And we know she would.
Coming to bail you out.
All right. I know. Let me tell you something. I know there's a guy because he walks the earth and his name is Joe Connor. So there you go. I'm going to tell you, drink to manifestation. Love and
manifestation. Come on.
I just looked that word up today, swear to God.
Oh, we already on the same wavelengths then.
Literally.
Ranking it up today. All right. We don't talk a lot of mess. Let's get into the BS, okay?
Let's get into it.
So first things first, let's talk about, we're going to go couple to couple, guys, because it's just easier that way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start off with Haley and Jacob. So Haley and Jacob are going through it. I know you guys are seeing it like we are. Haley felt the housewarming went well, but when they came on back, Jacob asked her straight up to her face, is you physically attracted to me or no?
Yeah.
I need
And
to know.
Right. And I felt like it was like, first of all, when she paused though, y'all knew she thought, nah, nigga, you ugly.
Yeah, yeah. She paused because she was trying to censor herself, in my opinion. And I've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks of people being afraid to speak truthfully about their attraction, because typically they get castigated online and in the media because for some reason it's not okay to say you're not attracted to somebody, on this show.
I agree. I mean, I think it's tricky because you want to be sensitive to people's feelings and you don't like ruin somebody's spirit by being like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to say. But I feel like at the same time, I understand what you're saying. Like, it's just a difficult situation, I think, in their case in particular. I think she's really, really trying, and she's been trying from day one to like get with it, but I don't think she can just get with it all the way.
I don't see her trying though. Like let me backpedal, pussy pop. I do see
I'm
her.
so done.
I do see her trying. Like, let's be clear, I see her trying. However, somebody commented on one of our videos, and I can't remember your name, so bust down and tell us exactly who you are, because I want to give you your props. But she said that we got to stop acting like these people don't sign up to marry people they've never seen before. Yeah, 100%. So the idea of that you're going to be fully attracted to somebody without knowing them, that kind of has to be your last mile marker, right? Like the last thing you kind of like, or maybe like the third, maybe not the last, like the second.
It need to be first to me. The fact that there is legitimately a 50-50 chance that you will like this person needs to be first on, because that is the real a shock to the system in this situation, because in every other part of dating and doing relationships, the very first thing that leads you to this person is attraction. In every normal aspect of dating, the first thing, whether you see their picture and you swipe right, or whether you see them across the room and you go, I want to go talk to her, and that's the first thing that they take out of this, right? Yeah. So it should be first in your mind, like, I might not be attracted to this person, and you need to do a self-check on how serious is this for me? How much of an issue is it going to be for me?
But do you feel like, but that's what I'm getting at with her. I feel like she probably had high hopes that she would at least be somewhat attracted to him. But I don't even know if it's a physical thing for her. I think it's a personality thing for her. I think it's like there's no connection emotionally, physically, like I don't relate to you at all. And so I think for me, I see her trying because she's like, well, I committed to the process. I came in with like no high hopes, or not no high hopes, but no like set bar. Yeah. And it's like, you haven't met anything so far, but I feel like she's still trying. Like, cause for me, he gives me such strange vibes. Like so like Jeffrey Dahmer? I have to sleep with one eye open. Yeah. What's really gonna happen when I'm sleeping? Because you're just a little odd. You know what I mean? So I feel like I don't know, and my heart goes out to her because she really is trying.
Damn, you think it's that bad, Sharon? Your heart gotta go out?
Yeah, I do, because I feel like, just like he asked her, are you attracted to me? She's like, ooh, I don't know what to say.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's definitely equal. I think it might be equal for her, a personality thing. She's older. Who's to say she's even into older gentlemen, right? That's true. So he's older. Well,
first of all, the fact that you call them gentlemen.
Right. You know what I mean? Because I give the elders, I give my elders their respect. So you know what I'm saying? So that might be a little bit off-putting for her off the rip. And then you have the personality thing, so yeah.
But y'all feel his personality? Are you like getting with his personality? Because it throws me off.
There is no personality.
He don't have a personality. Yeah, that's the issue.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like a board.
I mean, he doesn't have a standout personality, but I think it's something there. I think he has some layers to him that may just have to be, may take him a little longer to open up. You know?
I mean, and I agree with that. It's kind of like, I feel like he's probably so used to being rejected in real life because of his personality.
Because they on this show for a reason.
Right. And then so I was
let's
thinking,
keep it 100. Right.
Right. He was like, listen, I'm gonna just go for it because there's no luck anywhere else. So I'm gonna just go for it with this. And so I think that it's unfortunate. And I'm pulling it back now, but it's unfortunate because I feel like he just has a strange personality. Can't say strange. He has a different personality. And I just think that his
strange.
It's strange. I'm not gonna lie, it's strange for me. But my point is, it's just like I feel like he just has a bad luck of the draw, and I think he's hoping to like find somebody who just sees through all of that and wants to get through the layers. Yeah. But it's tricky when you're on Married at First Sight, when it's just like, well, there's nothing we can establish other than like what I'm like face value.
And I think this season, not to jump in too deep, and I'm sure. I think this season they gotta be, because I'm like trying to get my conspiracy theories together.
We got them, and we've been talking about them. So drop them if you got them.
This season, they're like trying to show like personality disorders and show people like on another. They show too much like perfect shit. Like the past season, everybody perfect, everybody just matched. And this season, I feel like there's more non-matching and just some emotional ass people. Especially the men.
Yeah,
like,
this is the extreme for sure.
But it's kind of pushing out some stuff I think that's going to start conversations in the world. So I'm like, all right, so yeah, that's kind of where I leave,
maybe.
But Haley did try to put her best foot forward and went out, bought him some clothes because obviously he looks a fucking mess. So she had to go and get
I laughing with clothes. I said, "Oh Lord Jesus!"
But she ain't even buy him. She went down to the Kohl's, went into the free bin, and stopped playing with us.
Because they had a conversation, and he asked her if she was attracted to him, and he said, "Yeah." She said no. Well, she said, "What did she say?" She said, "Kind of."
She said, "I don't know." Her answer was, "I don't know." But obviously, that no answer is
not really.
So she was basically alluring to like she didn't like the way he dressed.
Well, I think she just made effort.
I think that's what it is, making effort. And I think that he has this like retro style. And I think she's just trying to pull him into the which I think, I don't know if you guys have ever I don't know if you ever dealt with somebody who didn't, when you met them, they didn't look great, but you could see it. Like I could see where we can go with this.
Yeah.
And they just had to zhuzh. You know what I mean?
But this is a lot of zhuzhing. This gonna take a lot of zhuzhing.
I've been on the opposite end of that.
He has a great house, though.
I was married before, and in my first marriage, strangely enough, she did not like the way I dressed. So she went to like the hood. It was this store called City Trends. Shit is hood as fuck. And she bought like,
I'm not ready.
Gucci or whatever, or Gucci, it was just real ghetto shit. And I was like, yo, like, what do you mean? This is an express shirt. And I don't like that, and she tried to change that. So you got to be like really careful, especially when you coming in new, in a relationship and you like change your whole wardrobe.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think he took it well because I think he knows probably how he comes off.
Yeah.
And so I think he took it well, but he was like, this is still awkward because you still don't like me.
Yeah, right. And you
can
tell.
Lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Like, do you like me or not?
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, I do feel like he has to like be more realistic. You know what I mean? I feel like he's just like, oh, you're supposed to like me. We're supposed to be here. She's kind of like, but no. Like,
and that's
give me like, he's just very like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I feel like he's so used to baby being in a bubble that he's now venturing out and like exploring a bit emotionally.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like somebody that's probably like that emotional as a person unless you pull back those layers and they're like deep in there.
Oh, yeah. But he does seem to me, he seems matter-of-factly. Like he's been on this earth 38 years. He ain't with the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because he asks he might not talk a lot, but I find that he asks very pointed questions.
He does.
That may not even require you to go on a diatribe, but things that are like straight up yes or no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need real answers around here. And that I appreciate about him, especially because she isn't there forthcoming. So it's nice. I think that's where the balance comes, because you see at the end, after she done stopped by the house, you saw she stopped by the house, and then she got a new tune. She was like, oh, well, maybe he all right. I could figure it out. We just gotta, everything got different when she saw the pool.
Yeah.
And all that, let's be for real.
Yeah, listen, that house is great. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
the
is.
house is great.
It is.
Okay. She
It
said,
is.
oh, this motherfucker got a gym.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Go ass down.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think from Vegas, though, I mean, he's been doing some very strange things. And I'm
He
still like,
is strange, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna let him. First of all, I think she's strange too. She's
Right,
like one of
that's
those
what I
people
was
that's
thinking.
like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think she's I don't think she's strange. I think she don't know what to do with her hands because she's on national TV and she doesn't like the person who she got put with.
Yeah, she might not. Be
yes. And I think she's a nice person. I don't think she wants to come off like maybe, a
She-
jerk or whatever.
Yes,
And I
yes.
trying to like be, the good person and trying to just follow it through and see what happens.
And
But
she trying to save face because she don't want to get raked over the coal. Because when people we see it happen every season. It's happening right now with Chris. When people upset,
I hate
I'm
when
about
he
to
came for this.
go
no,
down.
it's not caping.
I hate it.
No. Let's be clear.
Go
I've never caped for Chris. I'm saying we see how Chris is getting destroyed in the media and in the Twitter sphere, in the comments, rightfully so, but we see it happening. And I'm saying that other people see that happening and they don't want to be Chris. They don't want to be not liked on social media because they can't handle it. She takes me as the type that couldn't handle if the Married at First Sight viewers didn't like her. She strikes me as the type there where she couldn't handle it.
I agree with that. She probably will be on like Suicide Watch.
Yeah.
Like that. Like she does seem a little bit sensitive.
Yeah.
But moving on, I don't have a transition, so I'm not even going to try to give y'all one.
Ah,
Okay.
We're just moving.
We're just moving. The next one people really want to talk about is Clara and Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan.
Yes, Clara and Ryan.
Whew, Clara and Ryan.
I'm actually very I'm more bored with them than I am him and Jacob. Bored.
Because of what we talked about a while ago, where they just gonna get along to get along, and it got a little spicy this episode because Clara was
sexually frustrated. Let's be for real.
Not only that, well, yeah, that probably had a lot to do with it, but she was being what a B word to me.
A Karen?
She was being, she was like, they were sitting at the table and they were talking about the donuts, and he's like sharing about his life, and she's like, "Oh, I just wanted to eat."
But see, I don't know. To me, if it came off as a B more than it came off that she has no depth. Like I feel like that's my first. That's my how I feel about her in general. Like she is just. I mean, not to be offensive, because she might be lovely, but she just seems like somebody you may pick up at a bar. She may pick up at a bar, and then you may date her for a while, but it's like you don't marry her necessarily.
She just right on the nose.
I just feel she's just like, she's just a good, nice girl, but like he is definitely
a good, nice fuck, a good, nice play, a good, nice thing.
I don't know, because it's like, but also he wears my nerve too, because I feel like he is very full of himself, number one, I think. But then also I feel like he's very like set in his ways, and it's kind of like, you come into my world, I kind of the rules, I know what I'm doing, I'm like I'm sufficient, like, and I don't like that, because I'm just like
well, I mean, a single man that has his stuff together, quote unquote, is gonna be like that, especially
to a certain
because I think they're all like that. When I'm interested,
that's this season.
Any single man that got his shit together and a woman is coming into his space, he's gonna be like, listen, this is what it is. If you're coming to his jungle, any man, they gonna kind of set that up, and women don't like, they gonna get that question, that neck roll, like, hold up, like
neck roll.
Because I had my shit together before I met
Period.
And this, that. So I don't know. I mean, he got his.
I understand what you're saying.
He's lived by himself this whole time.
I like the confidence. The confidence is great, because I feel like nowadays men lack confidence. So I'm into it, but I feel like there's a line of confidence and like cockiness and like being full of yourself. And I think he gives me like, he really thinks he has it all together. And like, I don't like the way he presses on some of some of his opinions and kind of like, well, I don't do this and I don't do this. And I don't know. I'm very like, this is what I do every day. And I'm not gonna, I'm not like,
he doesn't
he's like
he
more
wants
fun.
to acquiesce. Like even
he
with the
doesn't seem like
which
that
I think
at
is a
all.
running theme for this season.
like he doesn't
Absolutely.
he doesn't want to, and it's not even like give up his independence or give up a part of him. He just has no desire
Be in a relationship.
Right.
That's what it's called.
That's what it is.
It's called being married and being in a relationship.
Right.
Literally compromise, figure out what the other person wants to do, what I like to do, how can I. He's just like, well, this is what I don't do.
They just marrying at first sight and they don't have no damn clue what marriage really is. And that's what's, it's like a damn train wreck that we getting to watch. National. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Yes.
Because I
agree.
And I at that conversation with the donuts, I was like uncomfortable.
How did you feel about what? Wait a minute, I want to know why you were uncomfortable. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No. Oh, okay. But I was gonna say why I was comfortable because I really do feel like it just showed how drastically different that they are, and like how he is just someone who's just like ultra focused, ultra organized. He always has a plan. He's always thinking about like that's just kind of, and she's kind of like, yep, I never think about that, like ever. So I just want to eat my donuts. And I'm just kind of like, ew, that's tricky. She just
that was weird.
That's exactly how she.
That's exactly how she was. Which I'm sure made him go like, "What are we doing here?" You know what I'm saying? Like we're married. We should be talking. We should be having in-depth conversations. And when I'm telling you about my past and where I come from, you shouldn't be like, "That's a lot. I just want to eat."
Well, do you?
That was weird. Like, what is that?
Right. And they spoke about. I think he's laying it on thick for her, and it's just a lot to consume at once. But I do think like they spoke about like being in love and how he's never been in love and how she, you know, I didn't want to say a sucker, but not like a sucker, but like a sucker for love. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Looking for the next.
She down for everybody. I mean, her vibe to me was, I fall in love all the time. I fall in love in every relationship that I had.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's something very wrong with that because then what is this? Like, this is just
open. And she probably
love other people differently. Every love is not the same love.
Love is a big word and it should be treated as a big word.
Let me say that.
I agree.
But
see what I mean? Like that, and that's how but that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't take that into a marriage. Like we should just be falling in love.
I love you though. They know
that's a different kind of love right there.
So we ain't talking about because okay. We ain't talking because it's only one kind of love. I mean, you know, so love is a big word, and he is, especially for somebody who hasn't been in love as far as Ryan goes, he's treating it like it's a big word, and she's just like, I mean, we should, you know, let's just do it. And he's like, what? So I get it.
A lot like it's a big deal, period. Like even with the sex, you know what I mean? Like
a deal.
He's like they're the only ones that have, not to say that they should have, but I mean like he's the only one that has. She's haven't even seen him with the shirt off.
She's really surprised she's with a black man who ain't took her down yet. Let's keep it 1,000. She is so surprised.
Yeah, you're right.
She is with a black man who ain't broke her.
Oh,
she's like, what the bleep is going on? I know, like, I know y'all for your works. This ain't even like y'all.
I agree.
This ain't even like y'all. Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, say it. Say it. Don't hold back. Not here. Not
here. I was just like, I don't want to be offensive. You know
no. You ain't gonna offend nobody. This is a safe space. This is a safe space right now.
I feel like he's black. And I feel like there's a part of him that he doesn't own, and I don't like that.
Oh, I agree.
And so I feel like
that offensive thing.
That wasn't offensive at all. I agree with that.
I'm just saying, like, I just like you're black, okay? So you're trying to like play this other role or like trying to relate to this other, and you can in certain circumstances, but I feel like with this particular situation, I feel like because you're raised in the South, he's raised with Louisiana. He's from New Orleans, I think he is from a black family. That's a different experience. I feel like you just like, I just stop trying to be this other guy and just be like.
But that's tricky because it's like when you say be black, I mean, you can get a lot of pushback. Like, what is that? But because I think he's Creole from Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So that in his lineage, no, is actually there's white people. I'm Creole, you know what I'm saying? There's white people in.
But what
there's
I'm
white
saying is
people
his
mixed
parents
probably
are
mixed in
black,
his
right?
blood.
They're both black.
Oh yeah, his parents is blackety black, and so is his brother.
Well,
I really am,
no, his
am
brother
But see, I mean,
really confused as to where his kind of mulatto part comes from.
Yeah,
I'm not really
I'm
sure.
just saying in defense, because I mean, I don't. I know that is a fine line, which I know that's what you were about to say.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, but because people can,
Let
whatever,
me
and I'll
be
give a
clear.
damn.
I'm into.
We down for whatever.
Oh my God. Let me be clear.
But,
Let me be clear.
But
I'm 1000% for interracial relationships.
Yeah.
1000%. Like that's not the thing. I think with him though, I just feel like there's a part of him that he doesn't want to fully accept. And it's like, I just see it in different, like, I don't know, just different
that's
places.
what I'm saying. Just in his defense, like growing up in the South, I grew up around, I went to all white schools, I grew up around, a lot of country, swamp, Cajun people. Mm-hmm. So in that regard, like I know brothers who came from black families who really didn't fit into what the black brother was because they dated white girls, or they kind of carried themselves a little bit differently. And that kind of stems from a lot of things of maybe even shame sometimes. I mean, because you're a black man in the South and is a target on your head, period. You know what I'm saying? Then growing up black and like having that mixed race and then being different. Even if you're different, there's already a strike against you, especially in the South. So I'm not sure what his experience has been.
My thing is, and I don't know if this is his story, so I won't put this on him, but my thing is, it's one thing to say I date anybody, right? There's one thing to say I only date or I only relate to white.
Did you feel like that's what he said?
I didn't want to say it, but that's kind of how I feel.
But it could be something there. It could be something there. It could be a reason why.
I do think so.
Like,
there's
absolutely something there to your point.
I mean, even with his friends, like at the like,
I mean, all his friends are white.
That's and now, yo,
I know people. No, let me tell you, I know people exactly.
But
like
there's
that.
something in that. Is my point. And
there's something in that, and it's not that that's who they are genuinely. Like it's just who they attract. That's just who they vibe with. They don't even if they like everybody that's kinfolk ain't kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna vibe with everybody just because you black. Like, oh, you can be black. What the fuck is black? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because black people, and we talked about this. We talked about this during the election and a little bit. Just black people aren't a monolith, right? So there are men. Black looks very different.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? So, but my question is, right? Or I think the deeper question is, if that's true, let's go with it. You only say you're a black person and you only vibe. All your friends is white, because genuinely that's just the relationships that you attract, and that's just the deeper thing is why. What's behind that, right? That's what I'm curious about. Not that it's anything wrong with it, but I'm just curious about what's behind it. For the people who say I only date white girls or I only date white guys, what's behind that?
Where we were like black people were the real minority, not until we probably got
when we left, we was taking over that.
That's the truth. That's the truth. But when we started going to school, it was very few. It was like 4 or 5 black people to a class.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean? And I think that when people say that, like Joe and I both, I know I went to school with predominantly white people all my life, but I still felt, all my life, even through college. Yeah. And I still felt inclined to hang around, like it's sociological.
We gravitated towards our people. We both went to majority.
Yeah, that's who you are, right? And I'm gonna just say this, and we can get off of this. But what I get from him is like maybe if he was always around like a Caucasian community or whatever, like he might have been the hot commodity, the black token hot commodity. And so in that though, that's probably attached to why he is the way he is. Where it's just like, I make the rules, people want me, I'm the one that's kind of like you know what I'm saying? So there's arrogance, this like this, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I get.
Very good point. Because not just in a sexual way, you're speaking about even as friends. Right. Even his friends will be like, the tokenism is a thing.
It's a thing.
So like when people still want to be close to you just by proximity because you're melanated by
Right.
any means, right? So they think that you could give them some kind of cachet socially.
And let's be clear, we run the world, so we are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
They want to. They take our culture. They take our you know, so many things from Black culture. Are the springboard for a lot of people in a lot of different areas of life. So yes, it a lot of people do want to just be proximity to Black things,
Blackness,
to
right.
Blackness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they should, because it's awesome.
It's great. Just give us the respect we own our name.
Period.
That's it.
But let's move on because we don't want to make them seem more exciting than they are, because they not.
But it was but it's a lot there. It's a lot there. That might be a whole nother video, because it's a lot there. Okay.
I don't want to make them more excited than they are today. Let's move on to Virginia and Eric.
Oh, Virginia and Eric.
So I
okay, yeah.
Start this out in order of drunk couples to sober couples. But I decided we would do this, you know, in a manner of like, you know, who's going through the most. Now, I don't know how you guys feel. Eric went away for his first time. You guys know he's a pilot, so he travels a lot or whatever the case may be. And Virginia had the nerve to be like, "Oh, he's not calling me enough. I miss him."
But had a whole attitude. She had a whole attitude when he was like, "I just think that we should, you know, stay in contact when you go off." She had.
It's tricky though. I think it's tricky though, because he made it such a big deal, and for him to now leave, and for him not to be as communicative, it's like, is this a one-sided thing? Is this really a jealousy thing?
Agree with that.
But or did he know that she's operating in a deficit, right? So as it comes to relationships, I know that you want to go here and run the street, pop your poom poom for a real one, right? I know that's what you want to do because that's on your spirit. So what I'm going to do is make sure you know, as a husband, I'm going to keep drilling in. These are my expectations. These are my expectations. He already thinking, I'm in the husband world. You ain't there yet, though. You got to catch up. So I think that for him, I don't think that I'm going to cape for Eric because something about him I really like. I love him. He got a good spirit. But
for sure.
I do think that I don't think that she was wrong for feeling how she felt, but I do think it's something to her. He knew that if he did not say, "Me and you need to talk on a certain time, we need to do this," she wouldn't have did it. He knew.
Yes.
That's why I think he kept drilling it home.
Totally, I agree. I think
which does feel a little bit like nasty,
one-sided.
Yeah.
It does. My thing is, and to your point, 1000%, she's definitely someone I feel like needs parameters because she's completely clueless to what's happening. Yeah. But I feel like at the same time, I just live up to your own expectations as well. You can't just put up this on someone else and not come up to the plate. So if you have this grand expectation, you have to be able to meet that person at the same spot. And I do understand why she might have been a little bit irritated. With Eric, first of all, I love him. Okay. Like you said, there's a genuineness about his spirit. I think he's definitely a husband, like naturally. He seems like that's just kind of like his steez, which I love. But she is like, I don't know why she signed up for the show. What did she say?
I don't either. She said loose.
She's loosey goosey, honey.
She
is ready for the streets.
Does she belong to the streets?
She belongs to the streets.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why she signed up either. I think it's a thing of you know, wanting to be in clout, wanting to be on TV, wanting to be exposed.
I think young people have an idea of marriage or what they think create marriage to be that is just completely not the case. And I think that she came in it with it like, oh yeah, it can be fun. It's gonna be the same thing. And that's like it's like girl.
But you know what? I also think operating in a deficit, she makes a point to say that she is not used to seeing people in love. See, he has saw his parents have a successful relationship for over 30 years. She's not privy to that. Like, you know, her parents have been married multiple times. So her thing is like, I'm used to the fallout. Like her thing is, I'm used to seeing that. That's what I see. And I think that sometimes those kind of people can be self-saboteurs, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that that's what she's doing. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, she's got to cut the, and I mean this respectfully, from one lush to another. Because if you know me, you know I like to drink. Okay, she is to be in an experience like this. I feel like you have to be ever so present because
Yeah.
Yeah.
who knows who you're going to get, right? So go ahead, Eric.
But I think you got to kind of be yourself too, because you don't want to, like, like it spring something up on them later that they like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you caught me completely off guard. So I kind of like, because if you know me and Sharon, when I met Sharon, I was like, here, I'm ugly. You want to see? And I gave her every damn thing in the first day. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, here it is. I want you to know. You know what I'm saying? And it scared her, but then later on, oh yeah, it terrified the shit out of her. But it was like, hey, I've kept it real with you from the jump, and
maybe I'm naive in this idea. And I feel like you should have waited a year.
Nah, hell no.
I don't need to know all your secrets, child.
But we talked, and I don't lose.
It would have been different taking it in a year, because it would have been like
don't lose your thought, E. But we talked about how people's representatives don't go away until after almost a year or a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most people's representatives leave in about a year. It take about a year to start meeting the real person and not the representative.
Y'all think a year?
Yeah.
You don't know a motherfucker after being around them for 1 year.
Y'all niggas is
give them 12 months.
I don't like to say the N-word.
Straight up.
But y'all
Early.
motherfuckers be out here lying. That's because y'all lying.
By month 6, you see the song and dance go away. You start to see they start to buy out.
No. He said
by
start.
12,
Yeah.
By month 12, you go, oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Like I kind of got
to. At the same time, I think it's natural. I mean,
which is natural.
Yeah, it's natural. I don't think that that's nothing wrong with that. I feel like you have to earn trust to be able to let those guards down and be able to know where it's safe, to be able to lay those honesties and those truths about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Virginia speaks to like speaking about like their truths. Virginia, Eric sets up a really nice dinner for them, and she is honest about the fact that him saying that he was madly in love madly in love with his ex-wife, but that was his greatest love.
That was his greatest love, right?
That bothered her, that made her insecure, and that he hadn't been in love in 3 years. I thought that's normal not to be in love.
Right.
3 years after you separate from someone.
Right.
Normal.
Yeah, like what do y'all think? But this is another.
It's just immature.
What y'all think? People just out here just loving everybody and falling in love. Like that's not how this works. I had a conversation with Zar when we first rekindled a while ago. I'm just saying when we first rekindled, and I said the one thing that I realized in our time apart was that this type of love does not grow on trees. This is not something that is common. It's not. Like we both was out there. We was in the world. We dated around and all of this. We lived full lives. And what I realized is that this is not common. Everybody doesn't fall into this in a lifetime, right? People marry, and people fall in love, but there's levels to it. I realize there's levels to it, and so
I agree.
This idea that like everybody just out here just meeting the person that they love and they fall, it's not real.
I agree.
But to be fair, on the other side of it is like you don't know that until you know that.
Yes,
if that makes
you're right.
Oh
I mean, it's like before Eric, I hopping in and out of things myself, hoping that every single opportunity was my love. And you open yourself, you're vulnerable to that. But once you experience a depth of love that is like, oh shoot, this is something completely out of this world, then you start to be like, oh yeah. Then after that, then it's like, okay, now I have to be a little more safe. I know that this is not love. This is more of infatuation. Then you can. So I think for her, it's like she's now realizing that there's a depth to marriage. It's not just this like flimsy second coming. It's not a relationship.
And going off of that, you said infatuation, right? I think a lot a lot of just the throwing the love word out there is just replacing something else with the word love, right?
Yes.
You can't really love a person who you really don't know. You can't. You cannot, right? So even we saw a couple couples say I love you in this episode, right?
Yeah.
Y'all not in love, fam. You don't even know this person. You're not in love.
But you know what?
You do not know this person. You're not in love. 100%. Okay. So you might be infatuation. You might be in extreme attraction. You might be in lust, but what you're not is in love.
But let's backpedal.
I agree.
I see where you're working into. You're working into Brianna and Vincent.
Well, let's go there then.
And let's talk about it then. So I'm gonna say this. I remember dating a man, okay, who I had a very long relationship with. And
well, let's be clear. I'm the only person you had a very long relationship with. So you dated somebody who you had a longer relationship with.
I didn't have as long of a relationship.
Ever. You never did.
Okay.
I just want to be clear. I just want to know. I don't want any confusion. Because
Hello. Happy birthday.
Oh, God.
The longest and the strongest to my nigga Joe. Fuck what you heard.
Oh, my God. Okay, please.
Proceed.
When I first started dating this human being, they wanted me to tell them, like, tell me you love me. I thought it was weird at first, right? I did. Like, I was like, this is weird.
It happened to me too.
We grew
into
our situation. It was like, I do love this person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do have deep feelings for this person, whatever the case may be. And maybe him doing that helped me imprint on him. Like, okay, this is my person. Because he was like, nah, it's you. We do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He was like, so when he said that, at first I was like, So I get the speaking, because it was more about speaking things into existence. And less about like, we may not be in love with each other right now, but I love to be in your space.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Be able to say that.
Yeah,
I think that's cool. I think that's cool. The key part and what I said, I think for me in relation to that was that it's levels to it.
I agree.
Right. So that is a level at a very novice point of love. Right. But it's levels to it. So just, loving to be around somebody can be considered a form of love to me. Right. But it's very different from like, I want to marry you and all of your flaws and extremely fucked up parts of you. I'm down with. I want to be with those parts of you till I die.
Right.
That's a deep ass. That's a very different love.
Right. That's love. That's like the last level. I feel like as you were talking, I was looking at levels of love. I was like, well, that'd be cool to do. I don't know. I was in my creative head. But I feel like, the beginning, like when I first seen Sharon, I knew she was my wife. Now, I was smart enough not to go tell her like, "Hey, you are my wife." The first time I seen her, And, now, fast forward to after a month of being in LA and meeting her, there was still this infatuation, this mystery about this woman, and then we started talking. I was very infatuated with her, but and very into it, but I never said I loved you. Up until way later, I think maybe month 3.
Yeah, probably like 3 months.
Because we really friendship. But I'm thinking now, and I'm like, in that beginning stage, maybe that level of love is not maybe saying I love you, but saying I love this. Like I love what we're doing. Like at this moment, I love this.
In love with you, right? Like to be
right
in love.
Yeah.
However, I have girlfriends that I'm like, girl, I love you.
There's friendship love, right? There's different love, right?
It's different, like,
it's different.
and it can grow into
right,
right. But we shouldn't be afraid to say
I love you.
And enjoy the people that we're around.
Right. True. I hear you. I respect that. Yeah.
I feel like that's where they're going. I also feel like they're just trying to. I think that a lot of this is a competition, right? Like everybody wants to be first to say I love you, and first to do this. And
our relationship is so perfect.
Yeah. We're gonna be the success of the show. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like I think that's one part of it, and I think the other part of it. Let's be very clear: Brianna and Vincent are probably going to be the most successful of the show.
I like them, but he has to reel it in. You know what I'm saying? He has to reel those emotions in a bit.
He's
like
Virginia and Eric.
Deep-seated issues.
I think the issue is that
this is Brianna and Vincent.
Brianna and Vincent. I think the issue is that he's a little too reeled in. I think he seems like he's constantly holding something into me. He seems like he's constantly like biting his tongue. You know, it was weird. It was weird the aspect of him getting as upset as he did when they did the salsa dancing, right? That was weird. But it seemed like he was holding in his emotions, his feelings, his anger. Yeah. She asking him like what's wrong, which is a lack of maturity, right? Because if I gotta ask you 1,000 times what's wrong with you, you're not at a level to where you're mature enough to express your feelings and be transparent so that we can come together and figure out how to rectify the situation.
You're not vulnerable enough.
Because that's what's for trying. Ooh,
I like them. Honestly, I do like them. I like the dynamic, but it's strange because sometimes I see them and I'm like, oh, yes. But then I'm like, then sometimes it's like, what just happened? Yeah. Like, how did we get here?
It's the beard. The beard be fucking you up. It's the beard. That nigga is holding on to that beard. But I
will say the first time he stepped on screen though, I had a side eye. I'm not gonna lie, because I felt like he was doing that thing where it's like I'm trying to present the best of myself at all times. Yeah. When it's like that's cool, but there has to be the vulnerability that's necessary for a relationship.
To be honest, Donald Trump done said a lot of stuff about people who speak Spanish. So now they all out here.
I'm so done with you. I'm so
a certain way. Y'all laughing. I'm dead ass.
I gotta go home.
Am I wrong? Come on, stop. Keep it 100. People don't want to be a certain way. They don't want to be spicy. They don't want to be these certain stereotypes. Yeah. Because so many people.
But he is a stereotype. Right now. I feel the only reason why is because
personality disorder. And that
say that again. Say that again because I want the people to hear you say it again because it skipped a little bit. Say it again.
No, for me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I feel like what did I just say? I just feel like he puts on. What did I say?
I don't know.
I just think he puts on and he's definitely not as honest and transparent about what's really happening. Yeah. Even when it comes to, I don't think that he would be honest about his struggles. Yeah. Like if there's deficiency with him, I don't think he would, and I mean, not even just
with her.
Not even just sexually.
Technically be the breadwinner.
Right. Right. Yeah. But it's just that cliche man thing where it's just like, oh, you're trying to put on like you are this guy and you're not that guy. You want to be that guy, but you're not that guy.
What you say it again? Say it again, E.
Got the little man syndrome. Literally.
No disrespect. No disrespect to our short brothers.
No disrespect to our brother.
Listen, because there's some confident ones out there. Okay.
Oh, 100%.
I'm Wilson's, and my brother and my daddy is 5'9". But
they got the spirit of a 6.
A giant.
So they not in this. Yeah.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It is a difference. And I do think he's operating from a space of insecurity.
Yes.
And, and it is uncomfortable to watch. Like,
I
felt like when they were doing this, first of all, they went from having this beautiful moment where he's trying to teach her Spanish and just putting the 3 words up there, bought her a Mammy Tatum bicycle.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's when I stopped taking notes on the show. I said, oh, wait a minute, y'all, something is happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I really felt a way about it. It really did something for me. And then he goes into the salsa dance where she was trying to, let's learn something.
I was so perplexed.
Yeah.
But
me too. Me too.
Oh, I can't say that. Never mind.
What?
I was going to say.
Say it. This is this is safe space.
No, he's been drinking. I'm not gonna say it because we're saving it. I'll tell you later what I'm thinking about. Okay. But
no, don't save it.
No. Stop. I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
We drunk.
So, but what I'm getting at is that sometimes you do things for your spouse that makes you feel like I feel uncomfortable about certain things. Prime example. I'll give you a good example. We're having not a big wedding, but a bigger wedding than I probably would have wanted. But I don't like being like the center of attention. I have like real. I don't want you saying happy birthday to me. None of that. Like I'm one of those people. Like, all right. And I think that sometimes you do things for your spouse.
Yeah.
And then you end up loving it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up like, I'm glad I gave this a chance. Like Joe said he wanted to do something recently, and I was vehemently against it.
We can't talk about that.
You see what I'm doing, Daddy?
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know.
I was there. I was trying not to.
You gotta trust.
Whisper it, right?
Yeah.
You gotta trust.
I do.
So it was something that I have like real life anxiety about. Like every time it happened, every time we like do the thing, am I not anxious?
Yes.
I'm like anxious. Like I got an attitude, everything. But by the end of it, I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
But see, I personally don't see it that way. First of all, yes, everything you said is absolutely correct. But if their particular circumstance, it doesn't seem like it's just, I just didn't really want to do this. It seems like you actually probably were excited about it, but when you found out that you weren't good at it, then that hit something in your insecurity. Then you were embarrassed, and now it became about you. And it's like, I didn't really want to do this, or this wasn't fun to me. It's just like, but you wanted to do this. So like, and you guys talked about it. Because it's not like they didn't talk about it. They talked about it. They said they wanted to do it. She surprised him with it. And when he figured out he wasn't good at it, but that's a very deep insecure, and that's not cute.
That's a very deep insecure, because I think the issue with him in this situation is him having an issue with flaws. Like he doesn't like.
But that's what I'm saying. That's that persona, that facade that he likes to put up, that he wants really people to believe that he's this guy. And it's like, you don't have to be that guy. You can just. You don't have to go have the salsa dance.
Like,
it's
okay that you're not really good at salsa dancing. That's not deep. And it's okay that you might be clumsy. If you spill something on yourself, like that's okay.
That was so strange to me.
It's weird that I think which this is why I don't put them in the lead, because I feel like there's a lot of things that are very surface with them. And I feel like they will come home to roost later and they will explode. Mainly just him being so, keeping all of his emotions kind of close to the chest, trying to save face, trying to put on and be this certain guy. That stuff is not healthy. And it's not healthy as an individual, and it's definitely not healthy for a relationship. And so that's why I don't put them, because I feel like the way that he was upset at the salsa lesson.
But that's what I was gonna say. I felt like it was like violently different.
It was
so drastic.
He went
opposite than who you are, and I'm like, whoa, like
he went back to being like a kid, though. I mean, as you can see, it's deeply rooted. I don't see them making it at all.
That's it.
I don't either.
But it's some childhood trauma type stuff coming up. She way too it. She gonna dump that nigga's ass when it's all said and done, because he's not emotional. He's too emotionally unraveled. He unraveled.
But
like
you know
he is something that's happened when he was a kid. Mama would have said, like, get your fat ass in there, or something. He might have been a fat ass.
I think that's really
it might have been something he wasn't good. Everybody laughed at him like, you got it.
I think it's something to that.
Yeah, like, or he got picked last when he was in the third grade tag football team. He got picked last on the team.
Hey, you better
know, and it's there because when he was messing up on the steps, he started sweating, and then now he's unraveling, like thinking, I'm not good enough. That's how do I compensate for it? And he couldn't, so now he just shut down. Yeah, he can't. He don't know, because.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's like, to me, it's so violent. It's so violently opposite to what you're presenting, and I'm like, that to me is a red flag, because I'm like, who are you really? What's happening really underneath the surface? Because it's so opposite from what you're presenting to us all the time. And I'm like, for him, like he said, he was sweating, and then he got like mad, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "No." And I'm like,
but the type of man,
she tried to touch him, and he did like one of these.
She could feel it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's just she's so together though, and I feel bad because I'm like, she hasn't
emotionally and psychologically deal with that anymore. Like literally, that man went from being a man in that instance, literally to a boy, and she was like, that's why it was so weird. It was so like, whoa, this is uncomfortable, and it's not, and I hate. If I said anything offensive to the brother, my apologies. But it's like you could see psychologically he's not advanced. He hasn't, it's something. It's something.
Yeah,
It's just
there
something
needs to be some
there.
type of like.
That's why I said the beard covering up something. It's hiding a lot of things.
Don't lose your thought, babe. But all you talking about is emotional maturity.
That's all I was going to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was going to. I just think he's something. To your point, is stunting his ability to show up authentically.
Yes,
with each other.
1000%.
The fear of
To your
failing.
point,
Yeah.
Sharon, she got not that she got it all together. She had some moments too.
Right.
However, you can see that she's really trying. Like she
Yeah.
understands. Like when she went, because it didn't I say it? I said touch him, make sure he know. And she went to go and I screamed it, and she did it, and I was just like, so she.
So you thought she heard you?
Yeah, she probably. You know,
she felt it in the spirit.
Sister to another sister.
I'm gonna write a book, y'all, because I'm telling y'all, I am 3 for 3. I be getting these hoes to the altar, and I mean from her. They be from hoe to housewife. So, I get them from the hoe.
So, so I think
ask my girlfriend.
I think what a big thing was for her that I was encouraged by was that I could tell that she sensed it early on, and she said, "You." I don't know if y'all caught it, but she said while they was close, she said, "Do you want to stop? Like, we don't got to do this," because she sensed the night going left, which is you need to be in tune with your star player, and when you married, that's your star player, right? And so I like that. I like seeing that in her.
Yeah.
She's starting.
But that's what I'm saying. I like her a lot. I feel like she's very emotionally ready. Even if she has her flaws, I feel like when they come out, I feel like she owns them, and I think she thinks she tries to do something.
Yeah, because she had a defense mechanism in the beginning, like she'll kind of like that whole bossy thing, or feel like she kind of gotta like throw a slide dig to kind of. But when she first showed his emotional self, she really took that note and backtracked and was like, okay, now I gotta handle him different, which is why I was like, she's too advanced in him, because he can't do the same thing, even when she did a lot of different tactics, like even from the touch. Yeah, you gotta know, women got to know how to play the ball around that court. You can't just be like, I'm doing this one play, and if you ain't here for it, I'm out. You gotta know your man, and you gotta know how to, because we're just as strategic and delicate and intricate as the woman. So I believe that she took that note very well, and that's why it showed her emotional maturity.
But it did
was
nothing
way more
because he wasn't emotionally rarely available and vulnerable. That's why they're not going to work. But even any situation, like you have to lay on the couch. You have to, even your partner is even when your even when your partner is reaching out in those moments, I think it's imperative for the other person to recognize that this person's reaching out and try to connect, because even if they're not doing it perfectly, they're making an attempt, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and it's you gotta just pull them through. Sometimes you gotta pull them through.
Because they may not be emotional mature enough to really grasp that, and so it's a fine line. It can be challenging for a couple.
And I think that people have to be more aware and understanding that you're not always going to be the strong party. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are times, like, especially with us, where like typically I'm probably more the one to come back and say like, okay, we're going to work on this or whatever the case may be. But there have been times where I've been like, nope, I don't want to talk about it. And that affects us.
And there's been times that I had to pull it.
Exactly. Like, we will be up all night to talk about this, like, because I'm going to make sure, just like you gave me that attention whenever it was, I'm going to give you the same. Sometimes I got to be the strong party, and it's okay. Like, if it's not going to always be you that's this perfectionist, this amazing, it's just not. You know what I mean?
There has to be balance.
It has to be balanced, and I got to know that even when we're down, that you'll just show up and say, look, I'm gonna take you where we need to be, because we're constantly moving. You're in this constant
that's called love. That's what I was talking about. The levels of it, right? Knowing the flaws of your partner, and going, when those flaws show up, being able to love them through that. You can't love. A lot of times, that's when the breaking points come in this show, when people's representatives leave. And and they see the real them, and they're like, I'm not dealing with this. What you're not dealing with is the real person that you married.
Right.
Talk about not real people.
Okay. Yeah. Can we talk about narcissism? Can we talk about that?
Come on, push it on through.
I know you are rich.
Whew,
So
Jesus Christ.
let's get into Paige and Chris, or Paige and Pastor Dwight. Whichever one you
Or
wanna do.
Paige by herself, or Chris by
Paige by
himself.
It's so many. It's so many.
So let's
avenues.
start with Pastor Dwight, who I'm obsessed with. I don't know about y'all. Pastor Dwight
I don't
trying to
know
get
why.
Pastor Dwight trying to get his numbers up. What
He
I tell
is.
you? What
He's
I tell
trying to
you?
get his numbers
Pastor
up.
I
Dwight,
just, I didn't really understand why they met, honestly, but I do feel like
1,000%.
at the same time, though, I feel like because Chris and Paige have no content anymore for the show, or like their content is, I feel like they was like, let's just put a conversation together with Pastor and Paige. That's content.
We're losing their storyline. It's
yes,
dying off.
Oh,
yeah.
We need to keep the viewership up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good.
But
It's not making good TV.
It's not. Can I
It's
be
not.
contrarian,
It's
though?
exploiting black people, black
It
couples,
is.
black women. It's showing that black women are the most disrespected and mistreated and abused people on the planet.
That's very true.
And Chris, any day you want to catch these hands, you got
Period.
I'm gonna shut up.
Right
I was waiting. This is the only reason I
I'm
got him.
right behind you.
This nigga.
Straight up.
Let me say this though, guys, because when I watched it, I thought, first of all, I'm gonna be honest, I'm biased because I like Pastor Dwight. I think he's fine. I think that if Pastor Dwight he looked genuine to me.
No, he does.
I told you, I
definitely think he is.
Yeah, Pastor Dwight,
look a little pimpish. He got a little pimpish lineup.
The lineup is not genuine at all.
The lineup is not genuine.
Not the
Nothing
lineup.
about it.
What network is this? It's probably some. What?
Oxygen. No,
TV,
is it Oxygen?
Yeah.
No, it's a Lifetime.
Lifetime. Some Lifetime stylists doing this shit. They ain't got no black barbers in there.
I don't, and you guys know, you guys are have a lot more experience in the church than I do. But I thought of it from a space when the guy said, his baby mama is pregnant. Y'all didn't feel like he was like, what the fuck is going on? I felt like he was genuinely surprised.
I thought he already knew.
He already knew.
All right.
Y'all,
no, he already knew for sure.
No, I want us to keep going with this because this is what I'm trying to get at. I felt like when they got married, and this is my honest thought.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, Zara. Are you saying when Paige and him sat down, he already knew, or you think he already knew before Chris got on the show?
That's what I'm saying. When Chris and him sat down, a previous episode, didn't you feel like he had a genuine reaction to hearing?
Oh no, I think he already knew.
He already knew. One thought. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Yes.
He already knew. I thought Pastor, especially if we going back to Pastor,
they had to get him on camera.
If we going back, they had to get him on camera.
I was gonna say, look, that's definitely like a reality TV show setup type situation.
They had to get Pastor.
Yeah,
I wasn't Pastor. Which we're forgetting. What's his name again?
Pastor Dwight.
They had to get Pastor Dwight on camera and get his reaction to
what
was happening. It's no way that he didn't already know. So I thought a lot of the conversation was Pastor Dwight trying to get his numbers up.
He was
trying to get membership. You doing all of this, and then for you
it's working. And then Pastor Dwight is working.
I'm so
done.
And then I thought for you to then reach out to this guy's, your boy, right? Your friend's now ex-wife or fiance or whatever she is, was completely inappropriate, because this is not a situation where you counseled them, for years. You had a relationship. You didn't even know this woman.
Right.
You married them off the strength of knowing him and only knowing him. Right.
Okay.
So for you to then reach out to her behind his back, he had no idea that you reached out to her. Was completely so before they. As soon as they walked in, they show her walking in the door of the restaurant. I thought, what the hell is going on here? This is inappropriate and this is weird for me.
Okay, so my thoughts. I'm split in the middle. I'm split between you and Zar. Okay. I think that what he had to say about the situation, I think he genuinely meant that. I think he was really giving the advice he would give in any normal situation. But I do think that they used him. I think, and I mean like Lifetime used him as someone to develop more content for them because they were in a different space. Yes. In that, I was talking to my friend, I was like, he gave me that pastor, like, oh, in the book of the Bible, it says, you know, a man divided, double-minded is that. I'm like, child.
But Zar is over here doing backflips about that. I said, Zar, he didn't make that up.
Listen,
He didn't make that up. He didn't write that.
Ain't nothing new.
That ain't nothing new. He ain't say nothing new.
It doesn't back say
I done heard that 1,000 times from 1,000 pastors. So that's what I'm talking about. This whole thing where we giving him all this credit, like he coming up with these scriptures, like he wrote them.
But Joe, be fair though. That's every pastor. I've never seen a pastor go on any type of TV show or without them doing the over enunciating thing. I have to be a pastor. Like it's like snore. But at the same time, was he saying? But at the same time, he was talking right. It wasn't like he was saying anything to her that we wouldn't have said to her. So I guess that's why I'm split in the middle, because I'm like, I do think he was genuine in what he had to say. Now, was the situation contrived as far as them putting them together? Yes, I do think that.
But my thing is, that's all that matters to me. Like I was thinking, even in the situation, to take this back, I know you guys are annoyed about this, but just to take this back to the previous episode, even in a situation with Chris, Pastor Cal didn't tell Chris, I think you're being immature. I think you can learn from being committed. Pastor Cal didn't say any of that.
Because he got swept up in his acting.
But he did, and I don't want to take away from that, but I think that it's something important about Black men holding Black men accountable for their actions.
I agree.
I think that there's, and that's why I like Pastor Dwight. I think he's the first time I've ever
he didn't hold nothing back. He told him exactly how he felt.
I've ever heard a Black man say, this is like, you know what, you could benefit from commitment. Why? Because and when he sat there, I didn't think it was messy, him sitting down with Paige, and it was
definitely messy.
It was contrived. Let's be clear.
It was a little uncomfortable because it's like, you don't know this girl, so how did this happen?
You don't know this girl.
But I also think, and I'm not a pastor. Y'all know I ain't even a Christian. So you already know where I'm going with this. But my thing is,
not yet.
When
you're a believer.
Because this is a Christian house. This is the saved household.
Listen, okay.
I don't know what
that's the household.
You are a believer in God, who is your best self. That's who you are.
I just believe in God. But my thing is, I just think that there's something too. I'll tell you guys this might be a lot, but this might be a lot for him. But I remember going to somebody I knew who was a pastor wanting to get married and them needing to know my spouse. Now, I knew them personally. They knew me. But them needing to develop a relationship with my spouse at the time so that they could marry us. like, you know what I mean? Like, I was in a space where I can counsel you and move forward and everything like that. And I think that's why, to me, I felt like what he did wasn't disingenuous.
No. To your point, that's exactly why what he did was disingenuous. Because most pastors want to know you before they counsel you. They want to know your spouse.
Before they marry you.
That's before they marry you, and they want to know your spouse. They want to know you as an individual. They want to know you as a couple. They want some record. So before they reach out to somebody and ask them, can we meet privately, they would want to know you first. That's why this is weird, because he did not know her at all.
I definitely agree with being uncomfortable with the conversation, because I felt the same way, but I implore you to look at it a little differently, just because I feel like I don't think he asked for the meeting. I think, again, Lifetime set up the meeting. And I think that happened, though, also because nobody was really advocating for Paige, and nobody was able to come to her aid at all. And he was already established on the show, and he's a pastor, and he had already told Chris what it was. I think that they put
Let's ask the question. Why is nobody advocating for Paige? Where's her friends at?
But no,
I can't tell you.
I think the bigger question is
no. Wait, can we answer that question?
Seriously, I wonder so much of the same things. I don't know.
They don't have TV faces, y'all. This ain't even a question to be answering.
I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Paige has. Chris has showed his ass to Paige for weeks now.
No, seriously.
For
Why
weeks.
they ain't bust out some windows?
Why?
Some
Why?
tires?
Where's the friends or?
Because all the other ones have their little friends in the show.
100%.
But
Right.
They
So
friends are her friends aren't made for TV, y'all, and I mean that respectfully.
For real, and they probably paying her not to bring the friends on, and paying her ass to stay there and take that shit, so it can give more TV ratings. Because be honest, if Chris and Paige wasn't on the show, what Married at First Sight?
Yeah,
I can't see because I'm not watching.
And I
I can't see it
because
I'm not watching.
And as much as I want to disagree with you, Eric, you're spot on. The only reason at this point
They paying her ass.
it's so. But my thing is, they
It's
keep them hoes off. They aren't, and I mean, at their wedding, they weren't the most delightful too.
No.
They weren't the most
No, none of them.
appetizing.
No.
And it's just like.
but at the same time, yes. But regardless to that, if they're her friends.
No,
I mean, and they know that.
This is still visual.
Or her parent, or like I'm trying to remember. Was her parents? Did she have her parents? Somebody.
Oh my God, nobody.
Because what we're not doing is holding Paige accountable for constantly going back.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But this is a good point that you guys have raised. Why isn't her family on here?
It's
Why
strange.
isn't somebody or anybody, like to your point, doesn't have to be the funny looking ass girlfriends. But why isn't it like, her mother?
Yeah.
Because they were
daddies. Like, why isn't it that?
At this point, they were strongly in conspiracy theories. They would strongly, anybody would strongly suggest for her to leave. And they would be they would be fighting this motherfucker on the set.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, Lifetime is paying her to go through this.
Okay, so to his point,
it's something deeper, y'all.
I did
this
read
man
something.
is come on, this nigga ain't even that. He not even that. Come on, Chris.
Come on, Eric.
Never want a team is 4.
Now Sharon is about to drop a bomb. What did you hear?
No, I was gonna say I did read something. I don't know if this is true, but I did read that in order to be on the show or in order to get paid or something like that, you have to go the long haul. And if you don't go the long haul, you have to pay them a certain amount of money.
See?
I don't know if that's true, but that is what I heard, and I'm praying.
It probably is true.
Because that's why I think Chris keeps showing back up.
Yeah.
And then they keep coming up with these idiotic meetings.
We
gonna meet with my fiance, and then you're gonna meet again with me. And then Paige is always done. Every episode she done. And then she comes back and meets with somebody else. And then it's like
this last episode, I wanted to throw my TV out the fucking window. I was like, this trash is stupid. I want to fight this nigga.
Okay,
and
so
it's
agreed. But at the same time,
on.
I do think that it could be a part of the show. But I do think though it is definitely still Paige.
Now Paige, I know Paige is got some little project in her. Shout out to Paige.
Projectical.
She ready to flip on this fool. She's getting
I don't think it.
Oh man, it's no way in hell.
No.
Or
the level of Paige insecurity runs so deep.
But
yeah. Oh well, duh.
Well,
yeah.
okay. So how
yeah.
go ahead, Zara.
Let's move a step further, though, guys. Let's talk about how they are attempting in this episode to reconcile and start over.
But are they? I don't even understand.
It's the thing, Joe. Because are they?
It's the
Because no, because I tell you one thing. What he said to her was, "I have nothing else to offer you, other than what I said last week." So that means that nothing's changed for me.
Yes.
Nothing. Because guess what? Next week he's gonna act a fool again. We just stay tuned for the Married at First fucking sight.
It's every week.
Because he's gonna act a fool again. It's in the script. Chris, act an ass every week. Keep these ratings
going. First of all, to be fair, this is his first season of watching Married at First Sight, number one. So he really thinks that this is all like a mess and fake. But I've seen many seasons.
Well, the season before, I like the season before.
I don't think
Amani and all them. Like shout out to them. Like I like them. I like that season. But this season.
But that's why I don't think that it's fake. I think that this is genuinely
it's reality TV. Some of it is
from the casting people, and they completely. And I can't say that I can't. Because I was gonna be like, how did they miss it? But I know narcissists.
They picked him for real.
And I think that it's very easy to manipulate people when you're a narcissist, to put on this a completely different personality and different person to people. I can see it. I've seen it done. people being easily manipulated. So I feel like that's how he got on the show. But it's been such a like
he's an extreme
crazy
narcissist, and
situation.
And it's good to have him on the show because it shows.
Well, definitely, they're happy about the ratings for sure.
They gotta be. They gotta be because
sure.
we talked about why they had the fiance on last week. I said ratings. It's very
ratings.
Everybody was going to tune in.
And then look at
the fiance.
And look out. She was way back. I didn't see the episode, but I just seen the clip. I said, damn, that's the baby mama.
Exactly. I said, oh, okay.
So you and Paige, that ain't even what you even wanted to do.
See, this is where, but this at the same time, this for me would be where I can't buy the whole, I have to stay in the show thing, because once he tells me he wants a divorce, that's not on me. He broke the contract. Right. He's the one that wants to leave. So because he wants to leave, I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she could have definitely put her foot down at this point and bounced. There's something in her
them checks is clearing every 2 weeks.
No, it's deeper. It's deeper.
It's for sure deeper.
It's deeper. It's deeper.
I mean, I think
even don't lose your train of thought, but even the way that he was, every time he say something slick to her, she's smiling. You could tell she genuinely feel like there's a chance.
Like, no, that's what I'm saying. She's waiting for him to put a hook in her. Something that she can hold on to. And it's, go ahead, Zara. Sorry.
No, I wasn't rolling my eyes at y'all.
No, I know.
No, I'm rolling my eyes at Paige. I really am having a real issue supporting this young woman.
Yeah,
I am too.
I want to cape for her, right? Like, girl,
right?
Call me, because I'm anybody who know you want me to go flat the size, bitch? Because you know I ain't listen. I got a retainer. I got a lawyer on retainer. I'm good. So it's like, but you do want her to have just more self-worth, and unfortunately, at every turn, she's showing us that she is operating in a deficit.
Yeah.
So I think it's two things. I have a theory on her, right? And I feel like it develops every episode. At first, I thought it was insecurity, and I just don't know if it's completely insecurity. I think that, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because she talks about it so much. I really think that she has been convinced by the unhealthiness of the church.
Come on, Sharon.
And how they teach women about, well, that's not insecurity. I think that you're just believing something to be true that's just not true. Yeah. And I feel like for her, she's
an illusion.
And delusional. But I think she really believes that, if God put me in this situation, there has to be something in it. And I have to stick to this. And I, wife and a woman, I have to support my man.
It's whatever God want me to do.
That's what I feel like that's what she's taught to believe.
Because she's not. Yeah, because you're not, because you buy into this. I'm gonna just believe that he gonna fix it, but because I don't believe that I can advocate or fix it for myself, that I can stand in this. Because
I don't know. I mean, in y'all opinion, do you think that's insecurity, or do you think that is more so like because I'm gonna say this from personal experience, like there's things, especially when you're really true to the faith and you really believe God to be true, right? And so we were all raised to believe some things in church that we thought like that were like, this is like word is bond. There's nothing that changed, and then as you get older and you grow and you mature, you're like, oh, that's tricky. That's not really true. So I think that for her, I think whatever she was raised or however it was ingrained in her that as far as marriage goes, that's the end all be all. That's the goal. That's the only thing you strive in life to be. Because she even said, I've always wanted to be married so bad. I just want to be married so bad. And I'm just like, girl, that's not the end all be all. You're smart. You're successful. You're a beautiful girl. Like, but she keeps saying, if God, even when the girl asked her, everybody's perplexed at the conversation at the pool.
Everybody was perplexed.
And she was just like, so do you feel like you have a chance? And like, do you want to get back with him or whatever?
She said, she's like, God leads me to do, I'm going to do.
What does that tell you?
What it is a cop-out. And unfortunately, you haven't actually started living your life for you.
Yeah.
Because the idea that you would, and I mean this, I'm about to say something, and I mean this respectfully, but the idea that you would give all your decisions in your actual life to a motherfucker you never met. You ain't seen God. You gotta, and I mean this respectfully.
Hello. Turn on the light.
Respectfully. You don't know what he look like.
But God gave you the gift of discernment, sis.
But my thing, no.
And choice.
We don't even got to get to discernment. you don't even actually know if he moved anything in your life. You don't even actually know that. You just know that you've made the right decisions to get to the space that you are so you can thrive. But you've given up so much of those decisions to an entity you ain't even really.
Exactly.
But I think
she
that,
signed the contract,
well, I
and
mean,
now she's obligated to go through that, and she's saying, "Oh, look, God wanted this," but it's no way in the hell. If she wouldn't have signed no contract, she signed the contract, we just don't see it. It's no way in hell you gonna marry a motherfucker at first sight and go through that shit in the beginning. The next day on your honeymoon, the next day if you get married, the motherfucker say he ain't into you after he done smashed you twice, and you gonna stay.
I agree.
You packing your shit and you
but at the same
road
time,
in the real life.
The only thing I don't
will be right by your side with it.
But I think that.
But she gotta buy. She's bought into that. She in the sunken place. She don't Get Out. You ever seen the movie Get Out? Paige, let us.
Wait, Sharon. What's
Sigma Morris code? If
the
motherfucker got you, she in the sunken place.
She absolutely.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm done. I'm turned up. Tequila on me. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Oh my God!
Paige, let us know if you in the Get Out. Shit.
What I was going to say was,
listen, it's Lifetime.
It's a fine line. I feel like it's tricky. I think it's tricky.
I'm a little tipsy.
I mean, you are, okay, Chuck?
BT Uncut.
Oh my God.
BT Uncut.
People just met us, child.
Yes.
Anyway.
We a little nasty sometimes. She be drunk. We kicking the camera and shit.
Yeah.
It's getting hot in here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, make a baby.
It's a fine line. Oh my God.
Happy birthday, Joe!
Y'all know he don't drink, child. Okay.
I don't drink, but it's with your birthday. You got to do it.
Period. Let's go.
Okay, so it's a fine line to me, when it comes to faith, and when it comes to practicality. So you can't judge the girl for believing in something that is higher than her, because it just is what it is. We all have our own faith systems and our own core beliefs, and that's hers, which I understand and relate to, because I can see some of myself in her in certain ways, but I've grown and I've matured and I've taken my own journey and I've learned who God is to me and the practicality of it, how to be not so ethereal with all of the faith and stuff, but also have God is a real God too, and he's practical. Yeah. So I think that she's still on that journey. And so for her, it is still very much so like, oh, if God is this and God has said this, and I'm just like, it's just, she has to, but you can't compare yourself to that goddamn girl. That girl. I didn't compare myself. I can see myself in certain things. I agree. But yes, I agree. Believe in God. Think that God, I'm not taking none of that away from her. But man, it's something else on the other side of it, because it doesn't seem realistic. That just. You would think. No, she don't know this man. She didn't date this man. She ain't tarried with this motherfucker. Come on, you better say tarried, because you from church. That's why. I'm about to hit this nigga in his motherfucking face, because she ain't dog. Because he clowned her. They really exploiting that black woman, and I don't. No, it's really sad to see, because they're exploiting that black woman, and she's getting probably 30 grand an episode, but it's like it means nothing. You're being exploited. I'm about to say, but she's not. I mean,
is that. To be religious and to be deep rooted in the Lord is such a beautiful thing, right? So it's so sad to see that you would make decisions that would directly harm you. Yes. In the name of the Lord.
Listen, now that is a word. That's listen, you're talking right.
But that's why I say the things that I do. I don't say it to disrespect anybody who has.
Yeah, for sure.
It's more to say that.
That's good.
Don't disrespect yourself and call it God's will.
Yeah, don't blame your religion. PJ Morton has a song that basically says your God ain't had nothing to do with this.
Nothing. Yeah. But I think it just speaks to what I feel like now in just this time, in this age, we're talking about, we're challenging a lot of the things that we've been taught to believe in church and like never before. And so I think that it just is what it is when it comes to certain people's belief system and how they were taught to believe. traditions, but because that is ingrained in every part of your being. And so for her, it seems like that is what it is. It's ingrained in her. And it's like I don't judge. It's hard to not, but I try not to judge her for that because I know that is a thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's half. I'm gonna say this though. I think it's half that, but then I also think it's half that she really wants to be married. Yes. And I think that there is some insecurities for sure that's going on with her.
Yeah. It's some insecurities that are literally bulldozing a lot of the issues that are happening that are right in front of her face. They are taking precedent over her self-worth. And that's
there's a desperation that she has that's like
and it's coming out. And everybody, I think it's like the producer seen that and was like, let's show, I mean, not like intentionally, but it kind of panned itself out where you get to see, I mean, because we're all human. It shows that we're all human, period. We all come from different experiences and backgrounds and have different perspectives on things. And, you know, no two people are going to be the exact same. It's just the challenge. But I think what this season is particularly showing is the different personality disorders that we all kind of have, because we all have a little narcissist in us. It's just levels to the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris is just shown on an extreme level of narcissist behavior.
He needs to have his picture next to narcissism.
Yeah, he needs to get his ass beat up. That's what he needs to have. That's straight up. He needs to be slapped and held accountable.
But I can't even go.
Right.
Yeah. Chris is that's a whole episode on himself.
He don't get too much from me, but hands. Yeah.
What I want to say is thank you guys for joining us on this conjugal visit of Joe and Zar. Okay, we had a cute.
I'm so glad. Yes.
Okay, I really do love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We hope that if you have not already, you bust down, subscribe to this channel.
You better hit
the bell. Okay. Because we're talking about real things out here. And
we
want to open it up. We open this up to the Briscoes. But if you guys are interested in chit-chatting with us about Married at First Sight, hit us below, okay? Because we will Zoom you, all right?
I love it.
Okay? So again, I'm going to say it again. If you have not already, bust down, subscribe to this channel. Sharon and Eric, tell them where they can follow you guys at so they can keep up with you.
Instagram, Facebook under Sharon Youngblood, actually. Sharon Youngblood.
Yeah, and then you can follow me. I have two pages. I have you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Eric Payton. Instagram is e.Payton. And then I have a second page on Instagram called Black Man Now. It's black.man.now. And it's a page in celebration of mental health and men of color.
I'll tell y'all, Black Man Now is a support group. Okay, it is so many things, but it is a support group, and it is amazing. So if you are a black man, and if you
man of color,
men of color,
but also women who know black men, just instruct them to check it out because it's super beneficial in more ways than one. I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Check us out every Saturday at 11. We do the Vulnerable Man Project. So if you do follow the page, check us out on IG Live. So
Thank you again. Thank y'all for having us. We love you guys.
We love you, Happy birthday, Joe.
Hey, come on, bro.
Yes. Come on, toast to that.
Come on,
we gotta
I got a
toast
little
to that.
tequila left in there for you.
Yeah.
As you should.
And we'll see you later.